So, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the America Coaching Supervision Network. We meet every month, always the third Monday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And do we have anybody new? Is anybody here coming for first time to our meetings? Because when we have new people, we want to welcome them. We have been facilitating this space with Lily for 8 years. And we are excited about our ninth conference coming up in next year in person in Canada, in Victoria, at Lily's city. So we started there. We had our first one there. Now our ninth will be back there, and we will tell you details at the end. So we want to welcome everyone here today. And today we have Deb Howard with us, joining us to talk about coloring outside the lines, awakening creativity for coach supervisors. And before we give Deb the space, Lily, anything you want to say to welcome our colleagues today? Any?
I want to say welcome. I see people from France, from South Africa, all over the continent.
Mexico.
Nice to see everyone. Mexico. If you could put where you're calling in from in the chat, if you'd like, that would be great so we can see where everyone's coming from. And it's Deb's show.
Okay, well, I am delighted to be here. I'm a little nervous because my workshop is usually 3 hours, and I don't want to rush, but I obviously had to slice it up some. But the way I got into this is that I used to quilt, and I found that I really didn't like the sewing, but I loved the fabric. And so I have been doing collage work for a long time, and I love the texture and the feel. So I use fabric, I use paper, all of that, and so I decided I wanted to try to meld, art and coaching, and that's when I came up with this idea, and I'm excited to do it. And so just to kind of get us started, particularly since we have such a small group, if you could just share your name and what brought you here. And I have to say, I can't watch the chat when I'm doing this. You don't have to raise your hand, just go ahead and call out, so anybody. All right, I'm just going to call on people. Richard, hi. What brought you to this workshop?
Hi there. I I love this space, and to just be in community with this group of supervisors once a month. It's a real treasure, and part of my month that I delight in, and delight in all the new ideas that come, and this idea of exploring around the bounds of sort of conventional, how things are done normally. I think it's a brilliant way to start the week this week. So thank you for offering the topic, and I'm really excited for what we're going to discover.
Fabulous, thank you. Maria, you're on mute, but what brought you here?
Hi, curiosity. Also, the time that I could attend matched. And I like the title. I like to color outside the lines. So
Fabulous. Michelle with an E, what brought you here? And you're on mute.
Is it me?
Yes, I said Michelle with an E. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Deb. What brought me here is that my curiosity. I love this space. I always learn a lot from it. And more than that, I also work with art in my coaching and my supervision. I draw, I paint, I do collage as well. I do a lot of artistic work. And as you did, I join art with my coaching and supervision practice. So
Wow.
I'm curious to see, how do you work with it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Michelle. Oh, sorry. Were you done?
Yes, I'm done. Thank
Okay.
you.
Michelle, you're on mute.
So I'm just looking for new ideas.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Lovely.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Kim.
Yeah, I popped in the chat box just echoing, really enjoying the broader group as a regular part of my monthly rhythm when I'm not traveling. Love connecting with people who are reflecting themselves on their reflection. And the topic today, particularly, I'm hoping will catalyze some just ideas that I can take into my supervision, but also more broadly, right? Anytime we're using art or tools for reflection, there's all sorts of possibilities. So I'm hoping for some new possibilities.
Great. Thank you. Katie, and you're on mute.
Thank you, Deb. I just really enjoy art as an individual and find that it helps me to be much more aware, and have been exploring using it in my supervision, and I'm curious to hear how you do it. So I'm just love the topic, and I'm a very intermittent user. I think the last time I plugged into this group was the conference that focused on intuition. So it's been a while, and it's good to be back.
Oh, okay. Glad you're here. Svea, you're on mute. What brought you here?
I like to be in a group where I'm always surprised in a good way by things that I wasn't expecting. So this is one of those novelty places that I always find there's something interesting, and creativity is something that I have always been intrigued by, particularly creativity that people bring to hardship and adversity.
Great. Thank you.
So, that I think is really also what I'm looking forward to, is thinking a bit more about that.
Okay. Thank you. Suni, what brought you here?
Well, I said in the chat that I love the creative side of coaching, and I do use a lot of art in my supervision groups. And a lot of people think of, restricted to visual arts, but music, poetry, all kinds of things, I think are a real bridge between expression and people actually relating to each other. And I've been exploring arts-based experiential learning for several years now. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I love to use narrative as well. Thank you. Naomi, what brought you here?
I'm always interested in helping folks I work with to access their learning and discovery styles. I know that there are many more than I'm familiar with personally.
Great. Thank you. Jean Elvire, I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. I wrote in the chat actually, but I can say it again here. When I'm on top of what I have written in the chat, when I see someone, the first thing I feel and I sense is the creativity in this person. Even if the person tells me I'm not creative, everyone is creative in one way or the other.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Susan, what brought you here?
Just try to bring creativity into my everyday, how I interact with the world and with other people. And I'm really curious to see what I can learn from you and your practice and your ideas, as well as others here today. Thanks for doing this for us.
Thank you. Sylvia.
Hi, and hi, all those of you I know. I use art in my supervision, and I particularly find it's helpful when I'm supervising people who are maybe coaching in a science realm, who are very cognitively based, and who will often, if you offer it as a sort of play, will often do it when they otherwise won't, and seems to open up completely new avenues that you can't get to when you're just working cognitively.
Thank you. Beth.
Looking forward to exploring this topic in community.
Excellent. Okay. Cecilia.
Hi, sorry I cannot turn on my camera today, but I'm an abstract artist and I love art, so I'm very curious into how to integrate that into my practice as well.
Fabulous. Okay. So Inga, I was asking people what brought them here. So maybe you could put that in the chat. I'm just gonna, whoops, that was a little. So the objectives for today, just real quick, to have a chance to experiment and play, identify your unique strengths as a supervisor, embrace the power of imagination, and gain confidence in your authentic coach supervision presence. So this, Lily, is where I'd like to break people out and just want you to, in your groups, reflect on what are some of the assumptions you have, like do's and don'ts about a coach, being a coach supervisor that might be limiting you. Maybe you have a hard boundary when it could be a little more permeable. What are some ways you hold back when you're supervising? Who would you be as a coach supervisor if you could let go and had no fear? And finally, what would your supervision look like if there were no right way? So I will, yeah, maybe you want to just take a quick screen share so that you'll all have the questions. And it's going to be just a short breakout, just 10 minutes to share with each other. So, all right.
You ready?
I am ready.
All right,
Thank
here we go.
you. All right.
Can we pause the recording, please? Thanks.
Thank you. So who's willing?
Oh, I'll do it.
Excellent. Suni. Damien, can you spotlight Suni? I'm not good at doing that. So Suni, if you can hold your
The reason why I picked this is my last supervision group. The sort of general theme topic was identity. And so I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
it's
hold
not
it,
very,
just raise it a little higher.
yeah, you can do it either way. Does that help?
Okay. Yep, that's great. That's
Actually, I
great.
wanted it this way for a reason, but
Okay.
okay. So you can see I started with the circle and
Yeah, I don't explain it because
Okay.
that's part of this, but thank you.
All right.
So the way that I use this is I ask people to look at it and share. I don't want you to share if you like it or not. I don't want you to share. No, I mean everybody else. I don't want you to interpret it, but I want you to look at it and share what comes up for you. What does it bring to mind for you? So anyone.
For me, there's another voice. Inga, go.
No, go.
All right, I'll be quick. For me, it's a butterfly that is becoming.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. And Jean Alvier, were you about to say something? You're on mute.
Not really, but what comes to my mind when you ask me is that there is a core and there are a lot of wings that are gravitating out of that core.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? I was definitely drawn to the green spiral, and can really resonate with Jean Alvir's word core. So it kind of draws you into that. So, okay, so now you can rest your hands, Suni, and we can go back to a regular view. So before you tell us what it meant for you, I'm wondering, how does the feedback impact you?
Well, I was amazed at the butterfly comment. I think that was from Svea. And I think that Jean Alvire and you started about the core, which is where the drawing actually started. It wasn't enough for me. Actually, I take that back. The squiggly lines, at first when you said, the first thing that came to my mind were equal signs. And then I said, no, it's not equal, but it's similar. So that's where the waves came from. And then I started the core part, and it just kind of just drew me in. It kept going in and in and in almost to infinity. But I thought about identity and the things that influence your identity, values, and the systems. That's where the circles sort of started overlapping, but they had to be a different color. And the first thing I picked up for the sort of spiraling was green. And the next thing I picked up was kind of a purple. So I just went with what I picked up.
Great, thank you. So what I love about this is I do it two ways. One is where we know, like we've all made something with the same prompt, right? So you kind of know what it's about. Other times you don't at all, right? And so I'm wondering if comments might have been different if we didn't know from the beginning it was about identity. But the beauty of it is, particularly if we all have the same context, is others see things in your art that you don't see, and it can be so powerful. So for example, I don't know if that's what you meant, Suni, but maybe the feedback could let you know that there's some part of your identity that comes out as the core, the S, whatever it is. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. In my longer workshop, I have everybody, well, we do more than one exercise, and I have that, everybody shares. I had a small workshop, otherwise, I put you in groups, but yeah, so I just did that because, as I said, when I designed the workshop, it was really just to bring creativity out of the participants. But I know at least one person said they came because they wanted ideas of how to incorporate art. So that's just one of the ways that I do it. So, okay, I need to leave Damien and Lily 5 minutes. So in 2 minutes, does anyone just want to pop out anything? What's different now than when you came on the call? What are you taking away? Anybody?
What I want to share, Dave, that what I did is a collage but with images from Google Image. And I usually, when I do vision boards, it takes me so long to find the picture that I want for my collage. And here in 5 minutes, I put together, I think, a nice collage with all of these images. And I was thinking I may share it in my social media. Then I thought, okay, I'm not sure if I can because all of these images, some of them may be copyrighted. So, but technology really helps. So when you don't have the material, that can be another way. You can still be creative even with help, because then I have even to think about how to put the images, how to make it look them. So there is the creativity in choosing the pieces. I do a lot of work in vision boards. So when I train coaches in my training, I include vision boards as part of the training, using creativity in coaching. So I think that the technology, I want to bring this awareness to everybody because it can be done really fast.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, great. I'm glad you did your own. Yes. Anyone else? And then Damien, when you need to, you or Lily.
I actually, it's Inga. I had a little bit different approach. I love them, and this is like whatever is there digitally, I actually opened my drawer and I found like a colorful tapes my daughter is collecting and then not using. So, I'm having them in my board, in my drawer. And I used this somehow, okay, this is the limitation I've got. This is the creative material I can use on. And I was surprised. I used this different things. Like, for example, this one was the most surprising because I just put it, I liked it. This is the tape with shells in it. And then I thought about it, what it means for me. And I thought like, okay, it's ocean. So whatever is emerging out of unconscious. So I actually picked something at random, whatever I had at my disposal, and then I add sense to it. Yeah. So it was a very playful as well for me. So I thank you, Deb, for inviting me to this 20 minutes for myself.
My pleasure. So I'm going to keep my word and send it over to Lily, but I just want to say thank you so much for playing with me today. It was a delight. Lily, over to you.
Thank you, Deb. It's really nice to have an application and a practical experiential piece rather than a presentation. So nice to have that diversity of how we interact in this space. So stay tuned. Our next ACSN conference next year, there's a virtual one day on April the 24th, and then there's an in-person in Victoria, May 8th and 9th. And we toured the facilities last week. It's going to be down at the Muse for those old timers like Beth. You know where the Muse are, right? Beautifully renovated space with open air and open concept, and it's right by the ocean. So we're really excited about that. And next month we have Debra is going to come and talk about justice-oriented coaching supervision from insight to application.
Different Debra.
Different Debra. Debra Miller. Yes.
Okay, can I ask follow-up questions? So it will be like two conferences, one virtual and one in person?
Just a one-day virtual for those that can't come in person, but it will be, yes, you come virtual and then it expands into the in person. And the idea is to have a lot of experiential events. Right now we've signed on somebody to do live sound baths to open and close. And we're working on the piece. I think we have someone to take us for a walk in an indigenous garden and talk to us about the different plants used in that space. And I think we're talking about a systemic constellation piece. And we're looking for an Aikido or a Tai Chi practitioner that can link that form of art to supervision. So looking for those types of presenters, facilitators. So if you know anyone that does that sort of thing, that is a supervisor that's coming to the conference, let us know. It could be one of you. Damien, anything you want to add?
No, Inga, if you cannot come to the in-person one, you can still come to the virtual. So the idea is that we're going to set up everything. So when we meet in person, we can go deeper. And if you cannot do the virtual, but you can do the in-person, you can still participate. So it's like, so that's the idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that after making it virtually so many years. And then in terms of if anybody wants to talk to Deb Howard, that here today, thank you very much for your presentation, Deb. Do you want to put your email so people can contact you if anybody want to follow up with you or have any questions about creativity?
Thank you, Damien. I put it in the chat, basically saying, particularly those of you who do art, I'd love to compare notes, but I'd love to connect to any of you. So it's in the chat. Thank you, Damien.
So is some of you may come into Converge. I know Kathy is coming. We're going to be doing some work together. Is anybody else coming to Converge by any chance? Sunny? Okay, so Naomi, well, let's get together at some point. Yeah, just to touch bases. So great seeing everyone. We will see you next month and have a great month. And we're looking forward with Lily. We're very excited about organizing the conference for next year. So put it in your calendars, and if you can make it happen, it would be great. Take care. Thank you, Lily. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Deb.